Hello, it's Adam Morrison. When it comes to top-tier contracting, my go-to choice is McGilvery Environmental. I know a thing or two about excellence, and that's exactly what you'll find with Kip McGilvery and his team. They're not just any contractor, they're the best in Spokane and North Idaho. From start to finish, they ensure your project is completed with the highest quality results. With years of experience and expertise, they handle it all. New construction, meticulous repairs, asphalt paving for residential and commercial properties, excavation, and even environmental remediation. So why wait? Reach out to Kip McGilvery Environmental today by calling 208-556-6384 for your free estimate. Don't forget to mention my name, Adam Morrison, and experience the difference McGilvery Environmental brings to the table. Again, that's 208-556-6384, McGilvery Environmental. My number one choice for all my contracting needs. M4 CPA is a family-owned accounting firm passionate about helping businesses and their owners create a secure future for their families. They pride themselves on the quality of their work and put their clients first, ensuring they get the attention and care they deserve. Their mission is to provide exceptional accounting services to help you achieve your financial goals. M4 CPA is all about building long-term relationships based on trust, integrity, and transparency. With a team of experienced professionals, they offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. If you're a Perimeter listener, here's an exclusive offer for you. Mention the Perimeter podcast when you reach out to M4 CPA and get a free business consultation to assess your financial strategies. So, if you're looking for an accounting firm that truly cares about your business, trust M4 CPA. Accounting you can trust with a personal touch. Learn more at m4cpa.com. Welcome to the Perimeter, Season 5, Episode 12, presented by McGilvery Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, and M4 CPA. It's been a while. We had a little break.
Yeah.
End of the year break that we kind of normally do. The schedule gets crazy, so we didn't have time to come in, or we didn't want to do it during the holidays, just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We got 4 games to recap. We're basically going to cover 2. Pepperdine was a blowout win. Pepperdine wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that, like, not just because we blew them out, like it was layup city. So it was, I don't even know.
Yeah.
We don't even need to talk about it. Always cool to go down there. It's kind of a little bit sad though, because you're like, man, I'll probably never be on this campus again.
No, right.
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And I always wonder, like, because they're opening a brand new building and we didn't get to see it. We just saw the outside of it. But it's like, would we ever do like probably not, but like just play them in their building?
Just once?
Yeah, just like you know what I mean? Like, we'll just come down there and
For old time's sake?
yeah, we'll play UCLA and then we'll knock 2 games out. I don't know, but anyway, that would never happen. So we were kind of like, man, it would be cool to see their old building. And then we'll obviously talk about the San Diego game, which turned very interesting late. And then I think everybody wants me to dive into the Seattle U game. And then I'll talk a little bit. That LMU was kind of a odd first half, and it kind of carried over from the Seattle U game, but we took care of business. But I'll dive into all of those and try to make it interesting, as far as the recap. It's kind of fun this year. Obviously, we're really good. We're, number 4 in the AP, number 5 in the Ken Palm, but we still have, like, content to talk about. In years past, we've been like, and we won by 35, and you and I are looking at each other like, what do we talk about? Like,
yeah, it's definitely been exciting. The beginning of the season, it's like
100%.
WCC season has been Interesting, yeah.
Well, and I think just in general, and it's not me hammering some of the fans, because I do bitch and moan about some of the viewpoints some of the people around town have. And I just try to keep it real. These teams are not just going to roll over and play dead when they play us.
Right.
And I think, to be fair, our guys are terrific at showing up every time, but also the whole season we've talked about, well, it was one of the best non-conference seasons we've ever had. And so, like, no matter how much you say you don't listen to the media and shit, like, it's impossible to get away from it or just hear what people are saying about you.
Yeah.
They had to think a little bit like, oh, these teams suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think I'll obviously talk about that further, but I think that had something to do with maybe the deal against Seattle U. But Seattle U never played us in conference.
Right.
So there's no, obviously you scout and everything, but there's no, like, familiarity. And then also, like,
San Diego's played us a ton of times. Coach Lav's been there 6 years, so he kind of has a feel what we're doing, right? So I think that has something to do with it. But like I said, we get in that San Diego game. Another cool, the Slim Jim, the Jenny Craig Pavilion. It's like, is that going to move the Ozempic gym? You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad joke, you know what I mean? But like, who uses...
That's great.
No, we used Jenny Craig. Anyway, that was a bad joke, but it was just on a platter. You're like, Jenny Craig, man, that was like the 90s thing, like... Anyway,
that's what I called it. I was like, this used to be called the Jenny Craig Pavilion, but it's a Slim Jim Pavilion now?
No, we just call it the Slim Jim.
Oh, I got it.
Not Slim Jim,
That's funny.
Not the beef sticks like Randy Savage. It's the Slim Jim, Jenny Craig.
Got it.
Yeah,
I love it.
And it's a great facility. If anybody's ever been to the USD, it's like one of the best campuses. Like it rivals. To me, I almost think it's better than Malibu. Just for the fact that you're in San Diego. Malibu's cool, but you're not in the heart of anything. Right. You know what I mean? It's not like, I don't know how to explain. Like, if you're going to USD, it's 10 minutes away is San Diego State. So you're like kind of going to San Diego State, but you're going to a quote unquote better university. You know what I mean? School wise, but San Diego State's great too. So like you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Totally.
Anyway, so going into that, because that was the first... I think that and Santa Clara were the first buildings that kind of started, made Gonzaga kind of change. Obviously, we had the run, but made us reinvest in basketball because Santa Clara, we played a conference tournament there my freshman year. And then I think the year before, they had it at Jenny Craig.
Yeah.
So, like, those places actually, like, reinvested, and it made us go, oh, man, we're really good. The kennel. And then it got the ball rolling for fundraising to the McCarthys. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of the history of the WCC. So those buildings are still very nice, and they have some history, but it's only 20 years or 25 years history. So it's kind of like. So anyway, going to there like, oh man, I used to have some battles in this place. Earl Knight hit a three.
Yeah.
Late my junior year, I used to get in a fist fight with one of their players. I was probably every game. Corey Belzer. He was a great defender. We used to always get in fist fights, and so like they had good teams. Like they were always, top 4, top 3 in the WCC. It wasn't just St. Mary's back then. They had some teams that would win 20 games. Make you go beat them. Obviously, we weren't as stacked, so we had some battles in that place. And then Bill Greer took over there. We love Bill Greer. He was with me at Gonzaga, and then now he's at Colorado. But he took over and had some good years there. He beat us one time. Anyway, so going into that gym, you're kind of like. It's the last, WCC hoorah. And, some of the newer fans could give a shit about what I'm talking about right now. But it's like there's some real history, especially, like I said, recent history of the conference. So you kind of go and you're like, oh, it's kind of, and, a lot of those people are nice people. And you see them once a year. And hey, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah.
How's Spokane? You're like, it's not San Diego. But
right.
But
it's a direct flight now.
But also, I don't have to make $2 million to live normal, or whatever. You don't say that, but it is what it is. So that team, San Diego, I think rostered 19 guys to 18 or 19, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And so, like, you're looking down the list. He's played like almost all of them, and so you're like sitting there, like, all right, this is kind of weird. I think the year before they went. I think they only won 6 games. They were 6-7 coming to this game. So you're looking at their thing like, okay, Coach Lav has got something going on. He had some good transfer portal guys that came from bigger conferences. And that's always a crapshoot too. A lot of people sometimes think, oh, he came from the ACC. Doesn't always mean the kid's better than the top half of our league. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes, excuse me, those kids make wrong decisions as far as choosing where to go. Coming out of high school, they go half a tier too high. So it doesn't mean they're just because they're going to a power 4, they're automatically better. Doesn't mean they're automatically worse because they're not playing. But do you see what I'm saying? Like sometimes they go half a tier too high, and then it goes, oh, and thank God for the transfer. Let me go back down half a tier conference wise and actually play and enjoy my experience and get a chance to get film, all those things. So you get a lot of those guys, but also my point is you're not. People always assume like, oh, you got all these power 4 guys, you're gonna be great. Like, well, they got to play together, and also like, was there a reason they weren't playing at the other place?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Going into that game, where obviously we felt, much better than them. We just played Pepperdine, blew them out by 45, and the first half went fairly on script, if my memory serves, Graham and Braden were playing pretty well. They had they played a little 2-3 zone. I think they took the UCLA and the Oregon tape and kind of mimicked that. They did like a stretch 2-3 zone, and we're just playing like really hard. Yeah, we were up 11 in the first half.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, hold on. Yes, okay, hold on. We were up 11 in the first half, and what was our splits in the first half? We shot 57%, so 20 to 35, 5 of 9 from downtown, which is good for us. And I'm going to talk about 3-point shooting, and it's been a constant theme. It's always going to be a constant theme. So if people are listening, like, come up with new material, I'm like, well, this is kind of what the game's become. So you, like I said, you felt like it was just your normal, and I hate saying that because it sounds condescending to these other leagues, other teams in our league, but it's your normal. Okay, you guys are hanging around, and then here comes the second half, and the dam will break, and we'll be up 20 plus, and
that's what it felt like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nice game, Braden, nice game, or EK, and then you just go, who else had a good game, and then there's your recap.
Yeah,
and we kind of shuffled through that. Most of that second half, then it got to about like the last 10 minutes, and they started making these constant, like, little mini runs or getting more stops. Graham got a technical and had to sit the start of the second half, but he got it at the end of the first. He threw a water bottle and the cap came off of it. So I don't think he meant to do that.
Yeah.
But it was also like, Coach Few's not going to like you very much then. And he's done a terrific job this year, Graham has, of controlling his emotions compared to last year. That was an issue. I mean, we had the St. Mary's one. I think he got one in the arena last year. I think he got one early this year. It was bad. The first game was terrible. But he's done a good job of staying on the edge of that line. Yeah. And I've said it before. I want my guys where I pull them back, right? But I don't want to always have to be like, play harder. I'd rather have the opposite. I'd rather be like, okay, you got to chill out.
Yeah.
Then the latter. It's easier to coach. You usually win more games, and you got guys that at least can compete. And sometimes you do need chippy guys, and it gets your other guys. It gets you fired up and blah blah blah. Not being cheap, but sometimes it's like, no man, you can't push us around, that type of thing. And so he's our enforcer, but he got into it with their. What was the kid from the Eastern European? Was Bosovic. And he was actually a good player. He played in the Bosnian Pro League for 2 years, so there's the state of college basketball again. Like,
right.
He's a pro. It's like, and to be fair, Mario played in the ACB for 2 years. A lot of people don't know that either.
Right.
And like, so I'm not complaining about this kid, but it's just funny. He's like, yeah, some of these kids that are freshmen are like not seasoned veterans, but they've played against grown men already,
right?
Before like our high school kids have. So that's why it's kind of sometimes some people are like, well, where's the high school kid come into play?
And they probably played against some ex-pros too, especially if in the ACB.
100%. The ACB, you could argue, besides EuroLeague, because EuroLeague's a combined, ACB is the second best domestic league on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, anybody that's listening that's into European basketball, maybe the Greek league's a little bit better. But like traditionally, the ACB, it's Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Bologna used to be good. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times these teams, it goes in waves of like sponsorships. I know it sounds funny, but like some teams are really good and they don't get a sponsorship. They can't pay anybody. So then it kind of goes, but like Barcelona's always good.
Yeah.
Real Madrid's always, anyway. So like big time clubs. So playing in that league and playing legitimate minutes as he's 19 years old or whatever, he's like, he's a good player. And same with the Bosovic kids. So that kid gets him riled up. We start Jalen Worley in the second half. He's terrific. It's one of his best games as a Zag. He has 7 offensive rebounds, 14 total, has 22 points, really carried us, was terrific around the rim, just doing all the stuff that everybody's grown to love. Like, he's just a smart basketball player.
Yeah.
He just gets in the paint. But the 7 offensive rebounds is crazy, especially at his size. He's really a point guard, point forward, but he's playing the 4. He just makes, he just has a knack for the ball. And we're going through that second half and we're just kind of chugging along, but they just like wouldn't go away. And he was playing, like I said, Coach Lavin was playing multiple guys. The little guard Johnson, I think he was a transfer from Wake Forest, was terrific. He had some shit to his game. He was talking trash. He got a technical, but he was yapping, going at guys. He had 21. Gorcito kid, the little Argentinian kid, he played at Portland 2 years ago. They went to Ball State. Now he's at San Diego. So if you was like, where are they? Oh, yeah, he was at Portland. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was terrific. He had 16. Then the McIntyre kid had 12. Lane off the bench had 12. And then the Goodwin kid off the bench had 15. So, like, he was just shuffling guys in and out, but we gave up 58 in the second.
Yeah.
So it was 58 to 53. So getting into the, like, last 2.5 minutes, it was like a 10-point game, and you really thought, okay, they're going to go away. We're going to score a few possessions. And they just did, like, kitchen sink press.
Yeah.
And, you know, you work on your press break stuff, and especially at the higher levels, like usually in high school or the club AU, you have maybe 2, maybe 3 press breaks, and like the back 2, you probably have to redraw up. You know, okay, sometimes you got to go 4 cross, send a guy deep. Okay, but usually you have a split on the top of the key, split, guy flash middle, lag pass, and then you kind of run a 2-1-2, right? Like offensively.
Yeah.
That's kind of how everybody does it. It's the traditional. It's really easy to teach, and it's, you know, simple to remember. They went the old school, like, I'm just going to guard you full court, man-to-man, and whoever catches it first, we're just running off the passer, you know, like scramble ass, like crazy. And we couldn't I don't think we got the ball across half court with either a turnover or had to call timeout or get it in for like almost 4 straight possessions. So every time we'd come in, you know, we couldn't get the ball in. And then we'd come down, they'd foul us or do whatever they had to do. We'd miss our free throws.
Right.
And they just kept plugging away. And it was funny. Me and Huddy were calling the game, obviously. And like I said, it was 2.5 minutes. We're like, all right, we're up 12 or whatever. And then, like, you know, it keeps going. And they're like, oh, shit, we're only up 8 with like 48 seconds. I'm like, okay, you're still like laughing. And then like, oh, another turnover. And then you're like, I think it was like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. They're like, we're only up 6 and we can't get the ball across half court.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a mess. You know, and like I said, seeing the guys react to that was a little disconcerting, but I took it as you haven't seen a press like that in a long time. It's natural to kind of take your foot off the gas. I hate when people are like, you should be always, okay, we get it. We were coasting through that game offensively. Like, you know what I mean? We just kind of took our foot off the gas defensively, and they made some big-time threes, you know, like just kind of threw stuff up, and they played crazy. But it was a great scout as far as, you know, Coach Lavin concerned. He's just kind of like, you know what, F it. And we're just going to, like, run around and go nuts and see what they do. Like, full court deny. We were doing our you know, there's a press break with 3 guys, and he kind of starts it about mid to half court, and we couldn't even get open there. And then we were doing we had to do the football play one, which was funny. I called it on the air. Where you got 5 guys on the baseline, they run like a football route.
Yeah.
We resorted to that. Like, it was just like, holy shit. Then we finally got the one where Tyon, it's the classic, you know, you send 2 and you make them switch, and if they don't switch, you throw it deep. And we finally got that, and that was kind of the end of the game there. But yeah, it turned into, like, you know, once that game ended, like, okay, we control this game. You know, you're like looking at the final numbers. We're like, we shot 57%, go 8-18 from 3, which is terrific. Plus 17 on the glass. Like, how the fuck did we only win by 6? And my point is, like, hats off to San Diego. They ended up shooting 53%, 58 in the second. So Fewey was obviously pissed. They go 12 of 31 from 3, which is good, 38%. And we're kind of lucky. They go 15 to 23. We go 13 to 24 from the free throw line. So they could have made up a gap there.
Yeah.
But free throws down the stretch, you know, press break execution wasn't great for us. And it kind of turned into just kind of a cluster as the game went on. Our bigs played good. Braden had 14 and 8. Graham had a weird game. He was 5 for 5, had 9. 9 and 11, 9 rebounds, 11 points, but just was out of sorts because of the technical, and then kind of had a shorter leash, which I get. Mario played fine, even though he didn't shoot it well, but he knocked down free throws, made 3 threes, had 14. Braden Smith was good in the as far as the starting point guard, has 9, 6 assists, only 3 turnovers. So it was like a weird. We didn't play bad, but we didn't take care of business on the defensive side. Especially in the second half. But also, again, I kind of equate that. Okay, got caught with our pants down the last 10 minutes. Didn't lose. And then it was like, okay, for the next rest of the season, it's nice to see that type of pressure and be able to go over it again, and instead of going over it, because they go over this stuff in practice, of course.
Yeah.
But go over it with like, hey, you little shits couldn't get the ball across half court. We're going to lose a tournament game if you can't figure it. You know what I mean? So we saw it against San Diego. We need to clean some stuff up. So that's what I took from that game after. I was like, this is a good reset for us as far. But I was laughing the whole time, like, because like I said, I turned and said it to Huddy on the air. I'm like, when is the last time we've had some anxiety in this gym? And he had to go back to, I think, when Billy's group beat us in like 2010 or whatever the hell it was, 2008. Yeah, I mean, like we haven't had anxiety in that gym in years. Like, and we've had a couple where we beat them by like 50. I'm not kidding, and that's not a knock. And that was before Lavin, but you know what I mean. Like we haven't had a game there in quite some time. So like it was kind of exciting, and like I said, I was hats off to San Diego. Our guys did enough to win the game, but I was chuckling the whole time, like, all right, we're only up 8 with 48 seconds. Oh, God, we're down 6. We haven't got it across half court. Let's see if we can make a free throw. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was funny. So hats off to our guys in the long run. Like Fewy always says it, and it's so true, and I try to implore it in my coaching. You always celebrate wins, even if you don't feel good about them afterwards. Then you wait 24 hours, then you come back in, and then you talk about it. You know what I mean? So, like, the vibe was okay, but I'm sure those 2 hard days of practice were not after that trip. But you go, okay, we opened up the last WCC season 2-0. And business trip, everything you want to call it, we did exactly what we wanted to do. So, little eye-opening. It was funny, too. Like, I think the line was like 28.
Oh, wow.
So, like, whoever bet the cover, San Diego had like a no sweat second half. Like, literally was like, oh, this is in the bag. Like, this is crazy. So, yeah, anyway, I was obviously impressed with our guys getting the 2 wins. Wasn't the prettiest, but hats off to San Diego. What were your thoughts on the San Diego game? I was just watching it.
It's funny when we were talking.
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
Hats off to San Diego. What were your thoughts on the San Diego game? I was just watching it.
It's funny when we were talking about Jenny Craig Pavilion, and as like a longtime Zag fan, like I remember those games because for a streak there, we were always playing San Diego in the WCC tournament.
Yes,
and it was down in San Diego.
Yes,
and so like I was just like, oh, this is one of the last times we'll be playing down here.
Yep,
and I thought the game went well. I texted my brother. I said Jalen had an all-timer, like 22 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists.
7 offensive, too.
Yeah, 3 steals.
Yeah.
Like, he was just all over the place, and really was the reason we were in that game in the end, which is what we want. We want guys to step up in games like that when, like, if Graham can't step up or if someone else can. Yeah. And so, like, that was cool to see, but it was, and we got to see Mario and Braden Smith
on the floor together at the end of the game.
People have been asking for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it was just like we got out of there, and it was just like we want the WCC to be tough because we don't every year like. If the WCC is easy, then
people bitch,
and
then
say like, well, we're not prepared for the tournament now.
Yeah.
Like we're getting prepared for the tournament right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the WCC is good this year. It's not as good as it's on paper than it has been 2-3 years ago, but it's not fall off a cliff.
Right.
And so when like I don't know, I look at these games. Obviously, you might drop a little bit in your Ken Palm or your ranking, but if you're in Ken Palm in the top 20, top 30, we're number 5 now or whatever I said, you're fine. And again, I prefer these type of games to get through those type of situations than the latter. You win by 35, you're sleepwalking, and then you get pressed like that. And, you know what I mean? So I think there was some value in it, but again, I loved it. I was like, this is cool, man. Like. I'm not. It wasn't like a rooting for San Diego, but I'm like, we literally haven't had anxiety in any game I've ever called. It's been like a sleeper. Like, all right, where are we going to dinner after this? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so it was kind of fun. It was like it woke everybody up, and there was a jolt, and just walking through the hallway afterwards, grabbing something to eat real quick, and you can see the look on Few. He wasn't very happy. So it was like, I just chuckled. I was like, oh, I've been there before. You know, like you win, but it's not going to be a fun plane ride, or it's going to be an awkward plane ride. And then, like, everybody's like tiptoeing around. Like, when your parents are mad, you're just like, all right, don't slam the door too hard. Like, just go pick up your water bottles real quick. Like, get them out of the way, you know.
So did that bleed into the next game then?
So that's what we're going to get into. So, you look at a Seattle U team, and I think there were 12-3 coming in at 12-4. Yeah, and they actually had some good wins. They beat Stanford, I believe. They beat UW 2 years in a row, which is a big deal. I don't care what anybody says about if you're UW, like that's something that they've always viewed them as the little brother. We haven't played Seattle U, which is a crazy stat. We've played them, I think, 70 times. We haven't played them since 1980, which is just weird.
That was the weirdest stat because they play him 70 times, but haven't played him since 1980. So we played him all the time in the early 1900s.
Yeah, like exactly. Like right after the war, we'll play each other 5 times like a year. But anyway, it was so they come from the WAC, and the story with them, they were supposed to come in with Grand Canyon, and they were supposed to be kind of the throw-in, and that's not a knock, but they don't have football. Their basketball's been decent. I think they've had some good years in the WAC, but it was kind of just like Grand Canyon was the darling of the two universities. And then we announced we're going to the Pac-12. Grand Canyon doesn't even come into the league. They go straight to the Mountain West. And Seattle U obviously stays. I think it's a great add to the league when we leave. Like you look at their coaching staff, their ability. It's a cool city to try to get transfers. It's like, hey man, it's like San Francisco, same thing. Like you're in the heart of the city, come play here. It's a good conference. You know what I mean? It's just it's not a you're not asking kids to come to like a dumpy college town in the middle of nowhere in a smaller conference. You're going to a cool place. So you're like, hey, they can actually have something brewing here. So we get into that game, and you're like, okay, how are we gonna react to the San Diego game? We won. It's not the end of the world. And it was weird because we come out, and it was Braden Huff. Like, he scores the first 9.
Yeah.
I think it was 9-3 to start the game. June hits his first shot, which I was like, yes. I want him to play well. I just did. Everybody likes June. June's a good kid. He's just, everybody liked him. I only talked to him once or twice, and it was very short. His English wasn't great, but he understands what you're saying. And he probably pretended he didn't know, because he didn't have to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, hey man, what's up? He probably just thought I was just another guy. Like, what's up, man? And then kept it moving. Like, okay, whatever, man. It's all good. I'm just a radio guy. I don't give a shit. You don't talk to me either. I don't care. Whatever. But you're like, everybody loves that kid. He's a good kid. You know what I mean? So like, going into that game, I was like, we all were like, kind of June has a good one tonight.
Yeah.
Not beats us, but come on, June. Let's just go play well.
You're right.
Like, make you feel good. And so he hits his first shot, and you're like, all right, it's 9-3. Here we go. Ho hum. And we couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for multiple stretches. I will say, and I was lucky enough, as the game was over, we're halfway through our post game. The head coach walked by, and I just paused did the cough thing on the thing and took my headset off. I was just like, "Hey, great plan tonight," and it wasn't a pity thing. He's like, "Oh, thanks," you know what I mean? But like, their plan was absolutely fantastic against us. It was just as much them, just as much as it was us not executing. But their defensive rotations on their double team package was the best I've seen all year somebody play us. Besides, Michigan had a little bit, but they also had the 7-3 guys, so they played a lot of 1-on-1. So what they were doing is they were doubling from essentially the strong side, but they were waiting on the dribble, or depends on the lineup. And this is where it was really good. Whoever was making the entry pass, if it was a shooter, they would double from the bottom as well. So
Yeah.
they would push our bigs out to 15, 16, 17 feet instead of 6 to 8 feet. It's a big difference, right? Instead of turning and with a double team, slamming it off the glass, getting easy buckets on the angles. Now you're way away from the basket. You have to turn and face, and that's not what our guys' game. Graham has a little turn and face, so does Braden, but it's just they're better at angles, right?
Yeah.
It's just that's what they are. And every time we caught it, there was always a sag help. Like, I'm coming to double, but I'm not going until you put it on the deck. So you feel uncomfortable as an offensive player. I wasn't in the post player, but I always had, when I caught it, there was guys in the gap, like stop and stuff. So like, you just feel like, oh, shit, there's hands everywhere. Can I put it down? If I put it down, we call it a rake. A lot of programs call it a rake. They come at you with two hands and just dare a ref to call foul. Like, just go rake his hands. And so our bigs were just continually, not comfortable to start the game. So every time we put it on the deck, it was a full double team, like I said, and then it's called full rotate. So they either double from the top or they double from the bottom, rarely. So all you're giving up is basically the skip on the weak side. And what we're really good at, and people have seen it a million times, is our big-to-big passing against double. It means, let's say Graham or Braden catches it, they usually dive, or we send a dive from the weak side, and we call it a choke down. On the weak side, you have to hammer that big and give up the skip. They didn't give up one of those big-to-bigs.
Yeah.
Well, until late in the game, but they didn't give up one of them. So all we had was long skip, and you tell your guys, all right, I need you to sell out on the weak side, but if you can't, as a Division I player, tag a roller, tag a cutter, and then not get out to a late contest at least to bother some contest, you can't play. And They were flying around like lunatics out there. Their plan was fantastic in the first half. So, like, us not scoring was just as much as them as it was us. Now, could we have made more shots? Absolutely. We did not shoot the ball well in the first half. Let me go look at the splits real quick. What was our 3 for 11 from downtown, 11 for 25 overall, so 44%. Wish we had the rebounding numbers from the first half, but I think we were -7 on the glass. And so, you get in kind of the teeth of it. They went up 17-8. And I don't think we missed 8 out of our 9 shots in that span, but they only extended the lead to like 10 during that time. So we go into halftime down 8. We got, I hate the word lucky because I think it's in sports, people use it too much is what I'm saying. We got lucky that we weren't down 15-20.
Definitely.
I mean, seriously, like, their plan was absolutely fantastic. What was crazy about that game too, we had 3 guys score in the first half. That was it. It was Braden, Huff, Graham, who came off the bench because of the technical, the San Diego game. So Coach Few didn't start him, so he technically came off the bench. He came in like 17-30. So,
right.
But he needed to send a message, and Graham gets that. You know what I mean? He probably didn't even complain about it. And Tyon. When is the last time you've seen only 3 guys score in a first half at all? Right, with our depth in just recent years. Maybe there was probably a time when like Drew was rolling.
Yeah, probably.
But we were up 25 in the first, you know what I mean? So like, okay, but like when we're down and we're not, it was like we had no rhythm offensively. Defensively, we actually weren't bad. We only give up 37 in the first half. They only shoot, 37 in the first half, 13 to 35, and they go 7 for 20 from downtown, 35%. So I kept looking. I was like, all right, we're down 8. Feels like we should be down more. But also, we're not playing bad. Look at their numbers. You're like, they're not playing bad defense. The Christophilus kid hit 3 threes in the first half. That was one I was disappointed in. If he makes a couple, you got to run him off the line. We lost him on a couple.
Yeah.
He ends up going 4 for 7, has 12 off the bench in 18 minutes for them. But our energy was decent, but offensively, we just couldn't get anything going. And like I said, I attributed it to the plan, defensive plan from Seattle U. So a lot of times, I'll come in here and I'm not too critical, but I try to convey what really happened and be as nice as I can. Talking about these games, try to be as nice as I can, but like that first half, their plan was absolutely just terrific. And so only being down 8 was, I think, kind of a blessing. But again, it goes back to what I was saying kind of in the open is everybody thinks these teams are just going to come and roll over. Like they'd never played us.
Right.
And they don't give a shit. Like they're new to the conference. They're trying to establish themselves. Their staff is hungry. Those kids played so hard in the first half. So it was like, okay, fellas, we got a real game. I will say it's been kind of crappy that we've had the students gone for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless the people that go to the games. It's just not the same energy.
It's not, no.
And people are into it. But
Especially the start of the game.
the start, that's the key.
Yeah.
Like the start of the game, you're missing out on the zombie nation and all that stuff. And I'm the same way. Like if I was at that game, I'd be like, I don't want to stand up. Let's just tip it off. You know what I mean? So I'm not knocking that, but you just don't have the energy that you normally would have. But going into the second half is like, okay, I thought, okay, just let's, we've been down. This happened before. We were down to Pacific one year, the 2021 team with Jalen Suggs and Corey. We were down 8 at half one time.
Yeah.
You're at Pacific. And we, you know what I mean? Like, so, okay, we're good.
That's kind of how I felt too. Like,
I think all of us did.
yeah, that's how we all felt.
So we're like, you go back to the media room and everybody's kind of like just looking at each other, but like, there's no like, holy shit. It's like, all right, we'll figure it out. And, how's your weekend? You know what I mean? Like, you don't even don't even think about it. And the start we had in the second half was so bad. Like, I think we had like 2 turnovers in the first 3 possessions. Felt a little bit disjointed, and they had the same energy flying around. And they ended up getting that lead up to 13 twice.
Yeah.
And I think they were up 13 with like 9.5 minutes or something like that to go. And that's when I was kind of like, oh, maybe they do beat us tonight. And I'm like, well, it's not going to be good for us, but it's not the end of the world. But I was like, well, this would be interesting talking points to talk about. Because it's like we could not get anything going. But lucky enough for us, we made enough plays defensively to stay in that game. And down the stretch, it was really Tyon who really kind of catapulted us to get back into it with about 2.5 minutes to go. He had those 3 rip and takes, finish off 2 instead of trying to draw contact, just go up and score the basketball.
Yeah.
Kept us in it. And then we finally got deep post touches in the paint. So their double team didn't matter, and and I attribute that to this coaching staff. We started running our cross screen, down screen stuff. You know what I mean? We started manipulating the lineup a little bit more. So whoever's making the pass, their rotation double team has to be different, right? So hats off to our staff to adjust into that because it's harder than people think. Like, oh, you should be able to do it. It's like, well, we haven't seen this type of double team yet this year. We've seen it obviously in years past, but our fellas hasn't seen like a hard ass, I'm coming hell or high water and you're getting cracked, bloody nose lane if you cut.
Yeah.
Here's the skip. Hope you make it. You know what I mean? Like that's harder than it looks. And if you're not completely prepared for it or haven't seen it, it can be kind of a shock to the system. Tyon was terrific down the stretch. Braden, obviously, he ends up having 28. Graham has 24 and 10. Tyon goes 7 for 9, has 19 points, 5 rebounds. He really showed up for us. He had a great first 3 games of
Yeah.
He was terrific down in Pepperdine, and then he was good against San Diego. Like he's going to be an all-league player if he keeps it up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But we just kept, crawling. Sonwood coming back, and then we get the play. Braden Smith comes off, shot fake. He gets the guy in the air with 25 seconds left. We're down 2, and he goes down and knocks 2 big free throws.
Yeah.
Those are harder than people think, and especially the role he's had. He doesn't have the ball in his hands as far as scoring wise all game long, so he probably hadn't taken a shot in 5-6 minutes, and then go make free throws. Like it's hard looks,
Yeah.
So he knocks that down. Then they have a defensive, or they have a possession, and there was a weird, I think it went out of bounds. We get a kind of a stop, but it goes back to them.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen Worley made a terrific play on one of their kids. They ran a really good baseline OB. It was basically a screener action where you can get fucked up if you don't switch right. And Jalen got over the top of kind of like an elbow, kind of a pinch screen or whatever, and like contested without fouling and made it to where like he ain't making this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like high level, nope, I'm chugging you off the line. I'm getting through this because my guy can't switch, because if you switch, they're doing it's a slip, it's a design slip to get a layup or the corner 3, and they communicated through it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then we get into overtime. Then you're like, okay, this is where I think we're going to lean on them. And we did exactly that. Go 15-7 in overtime. Our guys showed up.
Yeah.
And it was one of those like, whew, you know what I mean? Like, but, they held us to 80, which sounds funny, but we were definitely below our normal deal.
And they were holding teams to 63, averaging.
You can see it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they're going to win some games in this league. They're going to be fine if he's got them playing this hard. They have good guard play. I liked June played all right. He has 10, but I like the Maldonado kid was fantastic. He has 17. And then the shooter kid off the bench, like Christophilus. Their other good big, Hembright struggled, but he played hard. He had 10 and 12, but he took 19 shots. He just struggled.
Yeah.
But he was like, when people struggle, there's always a difference if he's like still attacking, still around the rim, not playing scared. He was doing that. He just couldn't put the ball in the hoop, but it was like playing his ass off. I was really impressed. We end up only losing the rebounding battle by 1. We have 12 turnovers to only 14 assists. That's a crazy number for us. Usually we're in the 20s as far as assists. They have 14 assists, 14 turnovers. So I attribute like our defense down the stretch was fantastic. That's what won that game for us.
Yeah.
So I look at it as, hey, offensively we weren't great against a really good plan, but defensively it held us, and we did an excellent job of crawling back into that basketball game. But it was another eye-opening kind of experience. Like, hey, man, these teams, and I don't think it's a lack of our guys not understanding the moment. It's just, but also like, better get your ass ready to play type of thing, especially against these hungry teams that got nothing to really lose.
Yeah.
And I was just super impressed with their whole game plan, their personnel. The Dan kid off the bench was terrific. He had 7 and 8 in limited minutes, but he was like, defensively, he did good against Graham and Braden. He was like 6'11" kid, right? So he was good. He made those weird ass jump hooks, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he played great off the bench. So I was just really, really pleasantly surprised with that Seattle U team, but then also with our guys having the kind of willpower and the guts to play really bad as far offensively, but to kind of grind your way back into that game, slowly get back into it. And then, obviously when overtime, that's when the betting odds were probably like, oh, Gonzaga is going to win when it gets to overtime. So a good win, right?
Yeah.
You end up going 3-0, but it could have been a disaster, quote unquote. It would have been fine, but people would have lost their minds if we lost at home to them. They would have done the Inland Northwest sweep.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
They played Eastern, I believe. They beat Wazoo and they beat UW. So if they beat us, like, go ahead and post it on your Instagram. We were the kings of the Northwest.
Right.
It would have been kind of funny.
True.
I'd have been like, yeah, fuck, put it up, man. Like, absolutely. Like, you did the whole Northwest.
Yeah.
Like, pretty good college basketball up here, and like you own the state, bud.
And now, I mean, in 2 weeks we go over there and play in Climate Pledge.
You'll be curious. Obviously, we'll be dialed and ready for that a little bit more, especially like I said with the double team stuff and how to attack that. But a win's a win. It wasn't the prettiest. Everybody kind of had like the San Diego game had a shock to the system, and had to kind of really think back, like, oh shit, we haven't lost here in a while, and obviously we had the big streak before LMU did it a few years ago. It was like, I was looking at how he's like, I've only called one loss in here. I think it was the LMU
game, yeah.
So hats off to Seattle U, man. Like honestly, like it was a terrific plan. They played hard. We played hard too. It wasn't, but I just sometimes when you play a staff that has a game plan and sticks to it. Like I said, we were up 9-3, and it was kind of just like, oh, this is not going to work tonight. No. They stuck with it, and their guys rebounded their asses off. They got out rebounded by 26 against Washington State and won.
Wow.
So then they come to our game, and we're up 8 at half on the rebounding. So like he got the message across: if you're not going to rebound, you ain't going to fucking play. So they got the message, but they still beat Washington State by getting out rebound. So they can play defense. You know what I mean? Like this team can defend, and yeah, it was a good win. But I was like, I'm super impressed. There's been a few games when I've called of teams that are, I hate to say not on our level because I think that sounds nose in the air, but just talent-wise don't have the same, but they've really scared us, and it's because of coaching. That was one of them. The other one was what was the one we played? The guy ended up going to Texas to be on Chris Beard's staff, so I wonder if he's at Ole Miss now with him. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was the team that Woolridge played for before. Remember that we went into overtime with that crew? Yeah. It was like North Texas or something like that. Oh. Right? And he had us beat, too, on the plan. You know what I mean? And I remember after the game seeing him, and I said the same thing. I was like, hey, great plan. And he was just like, fuck. Like he's just like, I had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I almost schemed it. I had it. And that's the hardest thing as a coach when you scheme it up the right way. It just doesn't go your way. But all in all, 3-0 going up to that point. Okay, let's wash it away. So we get to LMU.
Yeah.
And LMU's okay. They're 10-6. They have a history of playing super hard and get super chippy against us. Similar things. Start the game, the energy was kind of
it was lacking. It was
lacking.
Couldn't make a bucket.
Couldn't make a baskets. Couldn't get out and transition at all. It was an interesting. Oh, the reason why I'm shuffling through, when I saw 47, I thought it was the first half stats, so that's what they scored the game. That's why I kept looking through the stats. So, yeah, the first half, I mean, it's we had that stretch where I think they were up, and then we go on this huge run, and then you look up, like, it's 33-19. We're up by 14.
Yeah.
But they shoot 8 of 32, 1 for 11, this LMU. We shoot 41%, 14 of 34, 1 for 11 from 3, which is awful. But we're like, okay, we're up 33, and then we coast in the second half. We go 49-28, win by, was that 35, 82, 47. Did not shoot the ball well again from 3. We go 6 for 20. They shoot 30%, 19-63, and 26%. So they just couldn't throw a rock in the ocean. We go plus 13 glass. 20-8 assist to turnover, which is way better. More standard for us. Jalen Worley was terrific. He was plus minus 40. That's a crazy number. He has 12. Mario St. Cyprien got back to playing well. He was bad against Seattle. He was 0 for 5. He gets 13 off the bench, 5 assists, only 1 turnover. Adam Miller was terrific, has 3 threes, 4 for 6, has 11 points. Graham was good, has 16 and 7. Braden had an off night. Goes 9 and 8. He just couldn't, normally makes those floaters, just couldn't make them, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Who I was impressed with was Inocente. Apparently he was sick.
Okay.
And so the reason why he didn't start, but they played him, and he ends up having 4 points. Sounds funny, but he's plus 24. Like, kind of gave us a lift in that end of that first half. And then they played him more in the second half, and he was great. He made a floater and all that stuff. But Tyan was good, had 9 and 4. They started Fogel.
Yeah.
which I thought he was fine, I guess.
What do you make of that? Is there anything to take away from him starting that game?
No, I think it's Mario's sick, or not. It was Enchante was sick. So then they're like, okay, do we put Adam Miller back in? But he's been really good off the bench. Tyon's a better bench player.
Yeah,
and he's been rolling. So I think they said, okay, Davis, your turn. He played okay, didn't play bad. Goes 1 for 4, didn't do anything in the first half. So anyway, but he got a lot of cheers and stuff, and so yeah, he's been fine. He's going to be fine. I just the whole deal with him is just he's an unbelievable talent. He really is. It just we can't expect him to go for 35 in the 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like just let him play, let him get through the progressions, let him run around. You know, he's a freshman. He's crazy as far as like his athletic ability, but sometimes he's like a deer, like he's running around like all nuts. I mean, in a good way. But like, just I think we need to like let him play a little bit as far as, you know, in the context of playing with a first unit. You can't just rip it and go in those situations. Yeah. If you do, you better make every fucking shot, and that's hard. So I've been in that spot, you know, as far as coming off the bench as a freshman, playing alongside a lot of older guys that have been there, played college basketball. So you just kind of have to find your, but he was fine. So he's going to give us a game where he's going to win us a game in conference play. I'm predicting it now. There's going to be a game where somebody's in foul trouble or somebody can't throw the ball. No, he's going to have a 6-minute run and he's going to score 8 in a big time game. You know what I mean? He's going to get a tip in, whatever. Yeah. So he's fine. But it was nice to kind of get back to winning by a lot.
It was scary at first, obviously, but like then they settled in and it was very like, well, this is what we would expect.
100%. They settled in and started scoring, and then you can tell like, and it's not a knock, but LMU doesn't really have much like scoring wise. So defensively is a little easier to kind of handle on the other side. And then, like I said, we had. You know, we look up and you're up 14. And you're like, how are we up 14 in the first half? And well, all right, we'll take it. And then everybody can kind of exhale. But all in all, 4-0.
Yeah.
It was good for our show because we got to talk about some stuff.
Definitely.
And it showed us a little bit on the grittiness and things of that nature with our team, right? And that normally you don't get those in those games or those opportunities. So I liked it. I thought it was a good week.
A bunch of people, it seems to have been sick over the past 4 games. And it seems like there's a flu going on. I got a terrible flu for like a week, like after Christmas. And so I feel like there's something going on, but I also like to play 4 games like
in 8 days.
In 8 days is
especially traveling back.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was a lot, and there's been some weird scheduling with the WCC. You know, playing Friday, Sundays, always Thursday, Saturday. What are we doing? Yeah. So that was weird, and it's just weird going against the NFL. And everybody can whatever. It's college basketball. It's not even the same, universe. I get that, but don't even put yourself in the chance to get killed TV wise against the NFL.
Right.
So that part I don't understand, but the WCC probably doesn't give a shit what we think anymore. Obviously, we're leaving.
Yeah, they
don't. They don't. They don't. You know, like, and we're keeping your money, which they are. Whatever we do in the NCAA term, and we're keeping that too. Goodbye. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we thought how the schedule came out this year. We're like, oh, 4-8. Okay, all right. So have fun, guys. You know, and. Our guys did good. 4-0 is nothing to scoff at. We were going to play Santa Clara coming up. Yep. They're 4-0. St. Mary's is 4-0. So, you know, obviously it's a battle for first place. And Santa Clara always gives us trouble.
They do,
as far as offensively. We usually kind of lean on them. They beat us, was it 2 years ago? Or last year? It was last year.
Last year,
They beat us last year. No, was it? Anyway.
Sorry. Yeah, they beat us last year in Santa Clara.
No,
at home.
It was 2 years ago. No, it was 2 years ago. I think they beat us down there. And then last year was the Izzo game down there where he came off the bench and gave us a spark in that first half. I remember it vividly, but they beat us 2 years ago down there and broke that streak that we ever had in that building or whatever. So anyway, the Herb Sinnick's good coach, been around forever. They usually win 20 games this season. They always have like talent. Like if you look at it, they've had Podzensky, who plays for the Warriors, was there, and then the the Jalen Williams kid from the Thunder, who
Yeah.
was like a huge cog in the championship team, like played a ton of minutes, scored the ball. He was there.
Yep.
So he always finds talent, and they play a good style. It's just, defensively, can they stop us in the other end? So it'll be a good game. It usually is, but we usually get the best of them. So I'm looking forward to that. But 2 4-0 teams, good enough for us to, kind of reset a little bit. But, like I said, these type of situations are better to go through now and in January and in conference, and understand, hey, you can get beat.
Yeah.
This is not, and teams scout well, they're familiar with us. All those things matter. So
Yeah.
I look at it as a positive how this week turned out.
And we're in an interesting stretch too for the rest of the month. Like, we play at home against Santa Clara. We play down in Washington State, go over to Seattle, and then the rest of the month is at home. So
Yeah.
like,
We have
not
a
too
nice
much,
stretch.
not too much traveling, and
Yeah.
it will be. Yeah, I mean, this game against Santa Clara is a quad 2 opportunity.
Yep.
So
And those count.
Yeah.
Like people, those count. It's not just quad 1s. Like your record against quad 2 goes towards your seeding and all those things. So it's a good opportunity for us to kind of get back on the horse and play better basketball.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, let's talk about our McGilvery's Foundation player of the last 2 weeks. There's like a lot of
I know.
players here, but like, is there someone that stuck out, or a couple guys that stuck out
If
to
you're
you?
going like total games out of the 4, 3 out of the 4, Tyon probably played the most consistent. But every kid, Jalen had his moment against San Diego, helped win that game.
Yeah.
And then Graham against Seattle U and Braden.
Yeah.
They go 28 and 24 respectively. But Tyon had 4, 18, 18, 19, and then last night he had 9 or whatever. So I think Tyon would be the legitimate answer to that.
He had some monster dunks last night.
Oh, he had his lobs, and then he had that one where he turned it over, driving down the middle. He had that one where he cocked it back and missed it.
Yeah.
And I always look at Coach Few, and he's just can't say anything. It's also like, just lay it up. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's here nor there. I could dunk like that, but I never tried it because I was too scared of missing it. You know what I mean? Like, he's
Yeah.
a great, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you just have to, my point is just like, dunk it, but make sure you make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been terrific. When he flies around and he's coming off, help side defender, like shot blocker, he's really good. And then when he can just kind of rip and go and play off 2, nobody in the league, he's such a hard matchup.
Yeah.
He's a big guard. Do you put a 5 on him or 4? Probably not. And then if you put a small, we do what he got at Grand Canyon. We throw it to him at 12 feet, and he can kind of back guys down. He has a nice little turnaround. And also he's rip and goes. Like I said, he can just shoulder a guy and just bang it off the glass.
Yeah.
So just total, those 3 out of the 4 games, he was really terrific. So he's probably the one, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the M4 stat of the week. So in the game against LMU, we had 4 10-plus runs, with the largest being 21
Yes.
points. Like, have you ever seen a game that happened in a game before?
I haven't. And Huddy mentioned it on the air because we had a 21, and then I think we had a 14, and then we had multiple 12s. But then you're looking up and you're like, we only scored 82 points. You know what I mean? So
Right.
usually when you have those, the point is like you're boat racing somebody, you're at 110, 120. But it was just weird because LMU, like I just talked about, their shooting numbers, could not throw the ball in the ocean, like especially in the second half. They could not. Everything was short. Like it's just like they spent all their energy down in Wazoo, and they lost a 1 possession game down there. So like you kind of get, okay, they're shot. Obviously our defense was good, but yeah, I've never seen in my recollection to have those type of runs without being we're playing Warner Pacific or something.
Right.
And we're just kicking the shit out of somebody. Like obviously we won by 35, but did it feel like we were like flying around and just everything was going in? No, it didn't. Even last night. Right. So it was curious, but that's an interesting stat, because usually if you have 1 10-0 run plus, you're probably going to win the basketball game. Have 4, and then a 21, but they'll only get to 82 points.
Yeah.
That's the point. So great stat right there. It was interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very-
what the heck is this? But it helps when the other team doesn't make a shot either.
Yeah.
So the runs are, You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I'm going to aggregate some listener questions for the Ask Adam segment with Idaho Central Credit Union, and it kind of goes into that. Our early.
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
Questions for the Ask Adam segment with Idaho Central Credit Union, and it kind of goes into that. Our early parts of the game were just coming in so flat.
I know.
And Steele took 3 threes in the first 2 minutes of that game.
all good shots.
All good shots.
All good shots.
And they're just bouncing out. Like, is it just that's just the way the ball's going right now? And
Yeah, I think he shot it really well. He was climbing around 50% for about a month. Vegas on.
yeah,
So he's allowed to have a bad one. But I think just energy-wise in the building is part of it. Now, the counter to that, to be fair, is like you got to create your own energy, which you do. But I don't. It's not our guys are too cool for school thing.
Yeah.
I think at the start, teams' plans usually are better. Everybody's fresher, and then we're kind of feeling him out. What is scary though is like against the Seattle U or even LMU, even though, like I said, they were up whatever, and then we look up, we're up 14.
Yeah.
Is if you're playing better teams, you might get in a situation where you're down 20 and getting your ass blown out of the gym.
Yes.
And then it's really hard to come back. Then you're pressing. So it's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate concern as far as, coming out with more energy. But I don't know if there's anything I could say as far as what changes that. You maybe mix up the starting lineup, but we're not coming out and not playing hard. This ball's not going in the basket.
Yeah.
If the ball goes in the basket, then we don't have this conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So I think some of it's just shooting because our defensive effort's always good. So I think if the ball goes in the hoop, then we're not even talking about energy to start the game. I know it's a cop-out, but I think that's really what it is. You heard me say it all the time. It's a make-or-miss league. It's the whole NBA thing. If Steele makes 3 of those, they're good shots.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we're on fire tonight.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a make-or-miss deal.
It's different. Yeah, it's one of those things where you look at the stat sheet and I feel like our stat sheets don't ever really tell the full story of a game because Adam Miller has had games where he hasn't had many points, but he's out there flying around.
He's a really
and-
good defender.
and
That's why he
he's-
gets a lot of minutes
Yeah.
when he hasn't been making shots. Last night he made shots. The other game he made shots. Keep going.
Oh yeah, no, but my point is just like our guys are playing hard. It's
They're playing hard.
They're just not always some of the shots aren't dropping, and when you're only taking 4 threes a game,
Yeah, no, exactly. It's harder than people think when you're, coming off the bench cold and then, you're getting swings and you're open. And it's like, holy shit, I better make this. You know what I mean? Like it's harder than people think. Instead of when you're in high school, you get the ball in your hands and you got to be able to come off and get into a rhythm and, I can take a bad fadeaway, but also I can make that. But
right,
not in this level of basketball. So I think sometimes when guys are missing shots, there has to be proper context to why. But then, the opposite of that is like if you could figure that out, there's guys in the NBA making $12, $13 million a year that take 4 shots a game, but they make 2 of them.
Right.
And then they go play defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they know how to move the ball and then they play 18 minutes a night. It's like a dream job. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my body's still intact. All right.
Some quick housekeeping on Adam Miller. Is he going by Ace Miller now?
I don't know. Huddy always calls him Ace. I always call him Adam.
They were calling him Ace on the TV broadcast last night too. Apparently, like
it was our local broadcast. Right?
Broadcast.
So I think we all call him Ace.
Oh, okay.
They all call him Ace. I don't know. I've always just said Adam Miller. I just say Miller.
It was the first time I noticed it last night. Was you guys calling him Ace, and I was just curious about that. The other question I get that we get from everybody. is where do you get your Gonzaga gear at? Because like I think we've mentioned the bookstore, but are you getting it from the bookstore? Or are you getting other places?
Yeah, you go to the bookstore and they actually have some really good stuff. It's on the more spendy side.
Yeah,
and that's not me just saying that, but like sometimes you pick up the tag, you're like $85 for a sweater, but I'm like, all right, I'll wear this for 10 years. You know what I mean? One of those deals. But then, like, if you search online, there's a lot of places that get smaller licensing deals, and they'll have unique stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And a lot of it's not even just it doesn't say basketball. It's just Gonzaga related. So. Yeah, I just try to mix it up because I'm lucky enough I can wear a hat and a sweater to a game. So I'm like, I need more than like 4.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I make sure I have enough. But yeah, I've ran into some unique ones, and I've had people same thing. I had this one with the trees on it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, where the hell did you get that? I'm like, I literally can't remember. Like, it's just a website I was probably looking at 11 at night. Like, oh, that's cool.
That's
Order.
cool.
Apple Pay, good, boom. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I'm like, I don't remember. But 47 brand makes good hats.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got one with like Birdie something that's doing an exclusive with Gonzaga. They make good hats too, but yeah, you just kind of got to search.
Yeah, and I was going to say I'll drop a link somewhere eventually.
No, we're not giving anybody free advertising.
Oh,
you
you're right.
Said it.
I was going to say the bookstore. The
bookstore will give them free.
Yeah,
because
you can go online to the
yes,
bookstore,
go
especially
to the bookstore.
especially people out of town. Like, someone was asking about the Upside Seattle hat, and I actually can't find that anywhere online, even on the bookstore.
I got mine at the bookstore. I think the Upside Down Gonzaga.
Yeah, it
one.
must be the bookstore. It wasn't there last time I went there, but it's
the bookstore. Has like every price range and every exclusive in there. It's really good stuff. But also, like, I'm not kidding. It's just like you'll pick up some like golf shirts. And they'll be like 120, and you're like, put that right on my rack. Like, I don't need that one. You know what I mean? Seriously. So like, and it's really nice stuff. They're not jacking it up. It's just what the going rate is now for a nice, like a polo is $110.
Totally.
So you pick it up, you're like, where's the clearance rack? When I did my Christmas shopping for the kids, I'm like, I went right back to the clearance T-shirt rack.
Right.
Some of them are different. But yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll talk about Santa Clara. Then we got a week off, but we'll break that down, and we'll break down the other games. Appreciate everybody listening. Thank you to our sponsors, McGillivray Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, and 4CPA. See you later.